Bang, tick, bang, tick, bang. Hi guys, this is Mark Black, and this is To Play and Sing, and that's a part of Mark Teaches Music, and that is my live stream. So here we are, live streaming. And one of these days I'm going to get all these lights out of my eyes. It's not going to be today, though. So this is episode 76, and this is what needs to happen, just by the way, in case you were wondering, is that you guys need to ask me 700 million questions. And if you could do that, or we could just go for 700 or 70, and this will be a super focused help, as opposed to me talking about something that you may not be interested in. So you ask me a question, then I will know exactly what, I can answer your question or not, but probably answer it, or at least point you in a direction. So this is about helping you fix all things musical that I can do, which is a bunch of stuff, which is, like guitar and piano and lessons and bass and performing and being in ensembles, being in rock bands, jazz bands, worship bands, how to worship, how to write songs, composition major here, and country, how to practice, already said that, orchestration, how to improvise, I didn't figure out correctly how to improvise until I was about 30, in my 30s. And now I'm in my 40s, so it's been 10 good years of that. So anyway, how to read, and I'm talking about reading music, and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, ask me. Come on, ask me. But you can't. Okay. So anyway, so ask me a question, and I will definitely not be telling you lies. So last week we didn't have a session because I was like way away from a computer and couldn't post at all. And but here we are now. So here we go. And so let's see. Looking at students this last 5-6 days. So the first thing here, and I'm again looking over here at the chat for the cats, cat chat, is a student. I'm gone for 2 lessons, a total of 3 weeks, and what that student has worked on is like an exercise, and what we all want to do, almost everybody, certainly me, and you guys all know that I've given a personality test to over 6,000 people, and have had about 3,000 students, not lessons, but students, and given all of those people a personality test, and trying to understand. When I first started teaching, I was like, I thought I was giving the goods, man, this is it, everybody's going to be awesome, and it's like, well, this is not working. So what is wrong with these people? And so it's like, so I started getting a personality test that had helped me a lot, helped me understand things about myself and things to look out for, and or to improve on cul-de-sacs of me, get out of those. And so anyway, started giving people personality tests, and found many commonalities in different personalities. 4 main personalities, 4 divisions of each of those 4, so 16 primary personalities. And of course, every person is truly individual. So many people will focus just on one thing. And typically the 2 dichotomies are intellectual theory, or exercises. So it's like the parts of music, the pieces of music. I'm working on this lick, I'm working on my ear, I'm working on understanding this scale, I'm working on learning the scales, And then we have the other, again, generalization, but the other thing is like people are focused on songs. I'm just going to play songs, play 3,000 songs. I don't understand anything about music. I don't understand anything about what I'm doing. I can't apply this thing I learned over here to this thing over here. I can't, I hear something, I can't figure out what it is, because I don't ever break things down. Now, again, these are gross generalizations, and but people do tend to be in one of those two camps that they care about. They really care about their songs, only songs, exaggeration. They only care about the details, the underpinnings. I can play these scales, I can play this exercise, I can play these chords, I can play this lick, and so anyway, people are like that, and of course, what we have to do is we cannot get stuck in or we shouldn't. Not the best way. There's so many things on my screen. Maybe I'll do this the old trick. There's the old trick. How does it work? That's better. So anyway, so you cannot get stuck on one thing, one of those two large areas. You must incorporate both, or you should, to be the best you can be, the most you can possibly be. You got to try to must incorporate both areas. That is, preparations, foundation, things that are not songs, but contribute to songs, and then songs. And again, that's for the vocalist, that's for the instrumentalist. They've all got to do that. So, there's really, that's two areas. It's really sort of one of the two is not the songs, but the preparation, fundamental stuff is really kind of divided. I divided into theory, understanding music, and that includes ear training and rhythm training, things like that, as one quarter. Another quarter is exercises, skill. I can play fast. I'm working on playing faster. I understand all these chords. I can do these arpeggios with my voice, and that's physical muscle skills, and that's another quarter. And then half is your songs. So anyway, we're trying to move through that, and you have to juggle many things to be a good musician. And we all just want it to be one thing. And it looks like in looking at people's responses, their lesson, students' responses this week, is like, they're kind of circling around this idea of just, I just want to do one thing. And it's like, we have to do many things. Do we have to do 100 things? No. Do we have to do 10 things? Do we have to do 4 things? Yes, absolutely. You have to do several things. And of course, this could involve you practicing, certainly involves you having your eye on what can I not do, how can I get better, and this kind of stuff. So you have to juggle several things to be good. So another student, a different student, is just noticing how that despite my best efforts or the student's best efforts, things fall through the cracks. That is, there's no, this is along with this idea, we have to look about us and grab different things and keep all the things rolling. No, what everybody wants, including me, I want to come to some great guru of truth, and in this case, musical truth. And it's like, oh my gosh, that guy knows everything, and everything I need to know, he's telling me, or she's telling me, and there's nothing, hey, TDB, everything he's telling me I need, and he's telling me, not only is what he's telling me true, but also everything he tells me is all the things I need to know. There's no other source, there's no other input needed. I've gotten to the source, and there's the source, and it's just going to feed me. Now, that could be a teacher that we're thinking of, or it could be, a set of videos you're watching on YouTube, or it could be your almighty brain. You're so incredible, that you don't need anybody else. I don't think so. But so that's just not true, and unfortunately, and it's actually not unfortunate, but it's like it's. There's so many things to do that in music, and to learn and to grow and to be able to do, that it's hard. No one source is going to have it all. So there's a whole bunch of things that are needed. Personally, I think we all need lessons. You don't have to have lessons on some of the things I teach. I've never had a lesson. On other things, I've had years of lessons, years and years of lessons. We need lessons, which is somebody specifically going, hey man, you didn't know you were doing this wrong, but this guy, this teacher guy, he sees this, or he sees, oh, the next thing you need is this. You're not doing anything wrong, but here's the next step. And You need, self-study. You're watching videos, you're reading books, you know, going to concerts, and it's specifically live concerts, and you're like, wow, inspired, and like, how did he do that? And wow, that's so cool. The synergy of these guys performing, and these are just not random, but just four just very quick areas. These things, what I'm saying is, each of these things kind of points to something and says, oh, you're not doing this, or here's a better way to do this. Today, just by the way, watched videos with James Galway on the flute, and and as a consequence, some information about that, but also listened to Grieg and Schubert and I can't think of it, Bach, and complete pieces. And the point is not it was classical. Tomorrow I'll be listening to Victor Wooten or whatever. But the point is that's input. That's input, and you go like, oh, wait a minute, I hadn't thought about this in a long time. I hadn't thought about reading in a long time. I hadn't thought about ad-libbing in a long time. I haven't ad-libbed in a long time. So I'm just saying, you are looking for a lot of different things, and so just if you are taking lessons with anybody, be sure and ask questions. And if you get around a good musician or just an average musician that somebody you like, ask them questions. And what I'm saying, like, how do you do this? Why is this like this? And so, and again, that gets us kind of a theme today, or I guess a couple of days ago in lessons. So it's another student. It's very interesting how the student really plays well, and performs well, and yet it's like on some of their exercises they're like amazingly bad, and which I'm surprised. Like, well, here's this guy, person can really do a good job, and they're performing. How they're doing is like, wow, that's really emotive and cool and relevant and all this kind of stuff. And then yet on the exercises, which again are easy to see those as the gut, the foundation, what's underneath all these skills is an exercise, guys. Y'all should do exercises for the different things you want to know, because an exercise is like taking 1,000 songs and separating out and saying this is in common in all these 1,000 songs, and these 500 songs do this, and these 300 songs do this, and you got an exercise that focuses on that, and so it's like a laser beam of information and knowledge about whatever, how to finger, how to play a scale, how to whatever. My fingers are faster. My ear can hear the chord. It's easy to hit this high note. Not. So it's like, okay, that's an exercise. I'm saying, and now of course there's free spirits. Hey man, you can't nail me down. So there's free spirits and the people with great ears who are going to do, and many other great, we talked about the facets of learning. So there's going to be people that just kind of skip that stuff. Almost all, 99.9% of them are amazing in a thing. They're not amazing at everything. Very, very, very rare to find somebody automatically, naturally. I mean, when I say very rare, I don't mean 1 out of 1,000. I mean 1 out of probably 1 million, who's really great at everything. Many styles, not, this is what I do, but like I could do it all. 1 in a million, kind of person. So anyway, so this student is amazing, or very good in performing, and yet on these exercises, which are the building blocks of music, almost clueless, almost, and it's just an interesting thing. So what I was saying a second ago, what most 90%, not really, more like 90, if you looked at all the famous people like you don't see Taylor Swift in a jazz band. You don't see, what was that group, UB31 or whatever, or the what was it, I forgot their name. a French group, but they're actually from Canada. I thought I had their name there, but I don't. Anyway, so you don't see the UB31 playing bluegrass, things like that. So, I mean, these people reasonably are specializing, which is just fine. I mean, why not? Why would you not specialize? Because then you're losing. So it's like I'm going to learn blues, and I'm not going to learn rock, and I'm going to learn rock and blues, but I'm not going to learn jazz. I'm going to rock and blues and jazz, but I'm not going to learn classical, and rock, blues, and classical, but I'm not going to learn Zydeco. So it's like, but if you can imagine, you have a finite amount of time. So there's an issue here. So yes, you can specialize, and I'm only doing this kind of thing. I'm only doing this kind of certain kind of music. I'm playing a certain instrument and that kind of thing. But opposite, another thought, and it's a good thought, is, and I want you to think, and that is about, Simba, remember. So you need to remember. From time to time, fairly frequently, once every 6 months or something, you need to think about, cast your mind back to where you were, 5 years ago musically, what you wanted to do, what did you want to accomplish, what did you want to happen, what did you want to become, what was, burning in your mind. It could be 5 things, could be 50 things, and cast your mind back, and are you still headed there? Has anything changed? That's what I'm saying. You're not headed there anymore, or we've left some of those things behind. Is that a good thing? Are you headed the way you want to be? Now you say, boy, look at me. I'm really accomplishing what I wanted to do musically. Or have you lost some things, or you never accomplished some of the things? You never learned to improvise. You never learned to sing in the mixed voice. You never learned to write in a jazz style or a modern, whatever. You were thinking 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, you're thinking, that's something I want to accomplish, and it's gone. So I'm saying what we do, just like what we practice is what we learn how to do. What we're spending our time performing and doing, that fills up our horizon. That you had 10 things you wanted to do, and then you focus on this one, and that one thing becomes, the only thing you're doing. And just by the way, many, if not all my students who've gone to music school, this is the guitarists are the biggest ones that are like this. Well, it's pretty cute and sad at the same time. But it is that, they're like, whatever, they're 16, 17, 18. I'm going to music school. I'm going to go audition. And they only let me do a classical piece or classical pieces and jazz pieces. I don't like any of that stuff. It's like, okay, that's cool. We got to get in school. That's what you want to do? Yeah, that's what I want to do. So we learned some jazz pieces or some classical pieces. And almost invariably, 2 years later, that thing they didn't want to do, classical or jazz, I get back with them, whatever, 2-3 years later, and it's like they're like, man, jazz is the bomb, man, classical's the bomb, that's all there is. And it's because they had to work on it and tested on it, graded on it, and it swelled up to be their whole world. And I'm not criticizing that, and I'm specialization. I'm just talking about the dichotomy, and they've forgotten that, hey, they were doing metal, or they were playing, Joe Walsh or something, and now that's just like, please give me a break. So, so are you still headed in the direction you meant to go? And are you still grabbing the things? And so, again, specialization, I only do this thing I could focus on and do well, versus I have a lot of other stuff I wanted to do, and I'm not doing that anymore, or even thinking about it anymore, because I've been spending my time doing these other things. In this case, so, all right, so that brings me right up to, you should be taking online or in-studio lessons with me. And if you're interested in that, you should email me at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com, or go to my website, dallasmusiclessons.com. and you can check stuff out there. So you really should take lessons. It's a great thing. So if I do say, you agree? We all agree here. So, okay. So now, again, I guess this is focus day. So another student, and it's like a very gifted student, and it's just fascinating, and I understand it completely, and do it myself. And that is, so it's like, it happens especially with songwriters, but so people come in and they play 700 riffs, and the riffs, little pieces of songs, and then it's like, that's a Satch Boogie. But you play these little snippets of songs, or they've written the chorus for a song, but they aren't putting that. They aren't finishing. They're learning these pieces. They have 52 songs. They have pieces of. They have 42 riffs, 4,200 riffs, and so you must finish songs. You have to learn entire songs. You have to write entire songs if you're a composer and or songwriter, and you make yourself do that, even if it's crappy. And you think about yourself. You do not sit around and go, I got an hour free. Let me see if I can. Let me listen to 45 snippets of songs. You would say, well, I'm gonna listen to this album, or I'm gonna listen to my playlist. Wow, this is so cool. All these songs I love. You're gonna listen to songs, complete songs. That's what you want to hear, and that's what your audience wants to hear. So you have to learn complete songs. You have to finish writing complete songs, and little pieces of songs are not songs. So you have to complete writing the songs, or learning an entire song, and not just one. I have a friend who was listening to me play something. He's like, "Wow, you really sound good doing that." And he's like, "Hey, I have learned over the last 30 years. I have 26 songs that I can play fingerstyle." And that is, I'm telling. Here's me interjecting now. So that's a wonderful thing that person learned that many. Whoa! Bang, bang, bang. Wow, it's an exciting time here. So anyway, so that's a wonderful thing that he has learned those songs. But if you say, I have learned, let me just see if this is an emergency message. No. So that averaged out to about a 1.1 year per song. And so that is not a good ratio. Now, of course, there are difficult pieces, extremely difficult pieces. There are virtuoso pieces that only literally 1,000 people in the world can play. 100 people in the world can play. There really are pieces like that. There are not a whole lot of them, and there are not a whole lot of people playing on those pieces, but they do exist. More commonly would be a piece that 50,000 people in the world can play. So I'm saying there's songs that can be that hard, but think about it. If you took lessons for 5 years and you say, well, I can play these 5 pieces, you'd be pretty unhappy. So don't, this is back to the earlier thing, don't let yourself get focused on, just perfectionism. I'm thinking of another student, and the same idea that, working, and this is in quotes, on the same thing for years, the same singular piece. And don't do that. Don't let yourself do that. It gets back to that box. We like safety, and we like, let's trust that teacher, and he knows what's going on. I don't need to know anything else. So we got to break out. We got to make mistakes. And then specifically on this thing about the songs here, first, so the point here is finish your song, finish writing the song, finish learning the song, have a group, not 5, but 50. And in a year, 10 songs a year, depending on what you're playing. If you're just strumming the song, then you should be able to, the goal, of course, is to be able to play anything, if you're just strumming along, that kind of stuff. Classical pieces or fingerstyle pieces or anything, then it'd be like, yes, you're trying to get to where you play everything, but that's going to take longer because those are harder to do. But anyway, finish things, and then don't let yourself get stuck, and don't let yourself get. It's not. You're not wrong if you're stuck. You're just trying to do it well, right? But then you got to say like, well, I think I've become a musical zit. I'm just stuck on this one thing or these 10 things, that I can do. And it's like, well, there's a whole world out there of hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of songs and hundreds and thousands of styles and things to do. You don't have to do them all at all, but you want to be able to play multiple songs and think about completing songs. So, all right, now the last thing here is, so I probably, no telling how many things I've said before, but again, and if you got your questions, put them right here in the chat, and I'll answer them. I'll help you. About 30% of musicians have severe timing problems, rhythm problems, and that is most usually manifested in lessons, or I'm talking about when somebody's listening to them, is when they can't hold a long note without coming in, cutting it off early, or holding it too long, and they can't do a rest. I don't mean they can't. It's like they have difficulty with waiting 7 beats to come in, but that's not the only thing. It'd be like, and I'm not talking about physical skill. Boy, I can play fast. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that, if I go they couldn't do that. That's an extreme, or sort of more extreme. But anyway, so we would see that a lot, like I said, in long notes. I'm talking about as an easy bottom level manifestation. Now, 70-80% of students have problems with difficult rhythms. And it's all of the rhythm thing is a coordination issue of, can I, pat my head, rub my stomach, can I sing and play, can I keep the beat while I am playing this complicated rhythm on top of it, can I do that, and it takes coordination. So I'm saying lots of people, majority of musicians have trouble or are working on developing more and more coordination so that they can, sing and play complicated things. So anyway, and some people, a third of musicians have severe problems that they have to focus on and fix. So anyway, let me just say, it seems like I have said this before, but if we're listening to a song, song you love, and I'm going to try to let's just find a song that you love that is not a not a copyrighted song that you love, so that you I don't have any, but a copyright strike. So let's go here to there we go. Okay, so anyway, I'm just grabbing some. I have no idea what this is. Just playing a song here. Look at that. Can you hear this? I better do this. Let me do this. So I'm going to listen to your song. Oh, baby, baby, baby. Yeah, yeah, wow, 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 wow. Ooh, 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 ooh. I don't know So I'm saying you go through your song and try to tap the beat, even beat. Here's another song, some song. I'm gonna go. I can go this. One can go this, or I can go. I'm gonna do this. So this is fine all the way through the song. If you could sing it, or even better if I can keep where the meter 1, 2. It's it 4 beats, 3 beats, 2 beats. What is it? 2, 3. Oh, if I can do this. This is coordination. So my point is not can I play and sing that. The reason I'm singing is because there's no coordination. It's a low coordination to sit here and tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, just tapping. There's not much. A lot of coordination involved in my head is doing something different than my hand is doing. And that includes if I was playing an instrument or playing an instrument or playing an instrument or playing an instrument. So anyway, I'm saying a lot of people have severe rhythm problems. You need to fix those. And one way is to go through songs that you like and keep your hand tapping evenly on the beat while you're playing or while you're listening to the song, a minimum, and you discover, hey, that comes in on the third beat, that comes in on the end of 4, that comes in, that opening chord is push. 1, 2, 3, like that. So anyway, you can solve those problems. Okay, so now let's see. I think that is close to what I was going to finish and say. So I'm Mark Black, and this is Mark Teaches Music, and this is To Play and Sing. It's episode number 76. You should be taking online lessons or in studio lessons with me, and so that's a great thing to do. Let's see if I can smoothly. I don't think it's going to work because I think there it is. Okay, so I'll see you next week. It's going to be great.
Have fun.
Be awesome. I said
Like,
subscribe.
you know you should.
Oh yeah.
Have fun.
Be awesome. Like, subscribe.
Have fun.
Be awesome. You know you